What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon. For those who don't know, this is One's Divine Destiny. I'm here today with another topic video. Today we're going to be talking about the power of gratitude. Focusing on, what God is currently doing in your life, rather than focusing and dwelling on, things that might not be working out in your life. Pretty much, the focus of this video is to kind of, just focus on the importance of, appreciating what's currently going right in your life. Rather than focusing on, what not be going your way. Pretty much emphasizing the importance of, appreciating the little wins in life. Knowing that life's going to throw, you know, numerous things at you that might throw you off, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. But to know that you can always, regain that confidence and that foundation back in God. When you focus on the things that He's currently doing in your life that are going your way, whether it might be just waking up, to see another day, having breath in your body, whether it be eating a meal, having a roof over your head, clothes on your back, being able to be there for somebody that might need your assistance or might be going through something. Pretty much just offering a hand to spread love and, excuse me, share the fruitfulness of the Lord. So today we're pretty much, just like I said, just talking about, what it means to be grateful. Over these past 2 years, after college, I was able to, really, again, self-reflect and, kind of, look at my life from a bird's eye view, if that makes sense. Kind of being able to just sit back and observe, what's going on in my life. Whether it be people, places, things, habits, characteristics that I saw in myself that, I did like and I didn't like. But through, trial and error, I feel I was able to gain a more abundant mindset and appreciate, how far God's brought me in my life, and to, shed light on when I was in my lowest points, when I was in my lowest moments, when I thought it was the end all be all. It's like I look back at it now and it's like, I overcame those things, by the grace of God. And I remember being in those moments, whether it be at school, about to take a test, or, nervous for a track race, or, feeling like I'm not performing well, or struggling with relationships in my personal life. I remember being at those low points, feeling like, I just couldn't see over the hill. And, that's the unknown in life. And it's like, in those moments, sometimes for me personally, those moments were opportunities for me to, just overthink and get too in my head. Focusing on, things that I couldn't control. So pretty much, like I said, with this message, is like something that helped me, switch my perspective and, be a lot more appreciative of life, and to enjoy the fruitfulness of life and the joy of life and the joy in each day, and understanding that, you choose to be happy and that each day is what you make of it, so really holding myself accountable to, again, my own emotions, and, controlling the things that I can control, which is, how you react to things, your perspective on situations that might arise in life, or your mentality on, how you move through those things when those moments arise. So yeah, like I said, something that really, changed my life was just something simple, like writing out 10 things every morning that I'm grateful for, focusing on those things. And I mean, I'm not going to share them because I feel like everybody has their own 10 things that they should be grateful for. But to be example, it would be like, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for breath in my body. I'm grateful for health. Things like that, the intangibles of life. Focusing on the things that, might be overlooked, by the masses, or seen as not valuable to life. But it's like, the more I reflect and think about, life, it's like everything that you need to enjoy life is free, and it's like it's provided by God, and it's like, especially love, and it's like, trying to always try to fill a void searching for something materialistic is never going to fill that void that God can fill, with the Holy Spirit. Receiving that joy and that light, and receiving that happiness and fulfillment that only He can, put inside of you. Through the work and the due diligence, always seeking after Him, because God is always there. It's just sometimes we think that He's not, and we try to take over or take on, weights and, pressures in life on ourselves, and it's like, we weren't built to hold all that weight. And it's like, with that, I saw myself always focusing on things that were not going my way, or things that, like, why is this happening to me? Or why why didn't I get this, or why didn't I get that? But, in that mentality switch, it's like, focusing on, I'm blessed to have this, or I have that, or that worked out for me. That worked out for me even when I thought it wasn't gonna work out. Really focusing on, like I said, the intangibles of life. Trying to understand that, life's always gonna throw its curveballs at you. But I feel like through God and His faithfulness and His strength and His foundation, you'll be rooted enough in a place where you might be able to deal with certain situations that might arise, more beneficially, to help you move through those things if you turn to Him first, rather than trying to take on, like, for instance, like I remember, for example, I remember when I first started meditating. When I first started meditating, I could never, like, settle my mind. Like, my thoughts were always running, and I felt like I can't do this. This is never gonna happen. But it's like, the more I gave the practice to God, and I showed up each day and worked on it, and prayed before I meditated. It's funny. It was like a light switch. I was able to just all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, gradually, progress, but receive the stillness of my mind. And it was crazy because, like, each time I meditated, leading up to this point today, currently, it was like certain thoughts that used to come into my mind just weren't there anymore. And of course, you're like, where'd they go? But it's like, I understood that, I was harping and dwelling on things that, were in my past, which was taking up space to receive the downloads for God for my future. So it's like, through that, I was able to really realize, like, wow, if you always have, pretty much clutter in your mind from your past, or dwelling on things that didn't work previously, you can never really have a lens clear enough to see, forward, to see the visions that God will pour into you, once you open up that mind and open up that vessel to receive. Because, God will never give you more than you can handle. But I feel through each day showing up, you will put yourself in a much more aligned position to receive, what He has for you. Whether that be directions, whether that be guidance, whether that be, a prayer that you might have had answered, whether that might be a situation that didn't work out your way, but you were able to receive a solution, to a problem that seemed like it could never change. So, yeah, like I was saying, like, just really focusing on, how gratitude can, really be a life changer. Because, oftentimes I found myself, like I said many times already, just really focusing on the negatives in life. And it's like, when I look back at myself now, it's like, why not focus on the good things in life? Why not focus on what's currently going on in your life that's going right? Why only focus on things that, are pretty much out of your control? Whether it be how people talk about you, treat you, rumors, lies, performance in athletics. Of course it's up to you, but ultimately you can only control your role in that situation, pretty much. It's like, if you're on a team, you can't control how all your teammates are gonna, carry out themselves throughout the game or the match. But it's like, if okay, I can control what I can control in this moment, Okay, so let me show up fully present. Let me show up fully, accountable, and to step into, what I know I'm ready for. Um, so again, like, and I feel like through that you'll gain more confidence in yourself and more appreciation for how hard and how special you are. Because again, it's like, we are always our own biggest critics. But it's like, why not be your own biggest fan? Why not be there for yourself when nobody else might not be? But even if you have people in your corner, love them and appreciate them. But sometimes, there might be a moment where you might have to go through something alone. Or there might be a moment where you might feel like you're alone, but you're not. But I feel like through that, if you always know that you can turn to yourself as your own biggest supporter, you'll know at the end of the day, you always have yourself. And that doesn't mean you isolate yourself and cut everybody off. I mean, if they're not healthy for you, you have to do what you have to do, and I'll leave that decision up to you. But through that, I feel like, through the love of God, He will give you that self-confidence, and He will give you that fulfilling spirit of you feeling like you're enough. And to, really see yourself how God sees you, which is, you know, which is the light of this world. So it's like to really appreciate the talents and the gifts that He's instilled inside of you, and allow those things to showcase and come through you, through self-expression, whether that be anything, cooking, singing, cleaning, anything. This is not just a limited message to, one specific, activity or role or title, if you want to say, but this is just for, all aspects of life, really understanding that God is always there, and to really appreciate, the little things in life, to really focus on, things that can, make you feel happy in a moment. It's crazy because I remember like seeing, like just randomly seeing one time, this truck that I want, just out and about, just doing random things, miscellaneous things, running errands. And I was able to see it, and previously I'd only seen it at like a dealership, but I'd never seen it like on, running in person. And it was like, I was finally able to see it in person. And for me, it was a big thing because it's just like, it was just something that made me happy, because it was like, wow, like God is always around. He's always speaking through things. He's always there, but sometimes we might overlook things that, we think aren't important, or they're like, oh, that's whatever. But it's like, if your perspective is like, wow, like I'm grateful for that, I'm appreciative for that, but that worked out in my way, or it's like, okay, maybe this can work out better than I can imagine, or maybe this thing that I tried didn't work this time, but let me revisit it, tomorrow, or another day with a different perspective and a different approach. And I feel like, through never quitting on yourself, ultimately you'll reach that goal, or you'll pivot and figure out, okay, let me set a new goal. And through that is a goal still, because you're not wasting time. You've now understood that, okay, let me set my focus on something else, because maybe this isn't working. So I feel like through that, you'll ultimately always learn from something, but you're still being appreciative of the journey in whole. So therefore, like I said in the beginning, you're grateful for pretty much, anything that doesn't go your way or goes your way. There's ultimately always something to be received, not selfishly, but in terms of just, there's always a lesson to be learned. It's never a loss, it's a lesson. That's how I always try to look at things, through sports. I was able to, through my coaches, instilling that in me. It's like, you have a bad game, okay, let's reflect on it, let's correct some things, let's do some things differently. How can we approach next game with a more positive and solution-based focus, so we don't make the same mistakes again? So again, just never quitting on yourself, showing up each day, seeking to, please the Lord, walk in who He's called you to be and who He created you to be. And again, appreciate the little things in life, man. It's like, I look back on my life and it's like I made situations so much harder than they had to be, just because I wasn't focusing on what was in front of me, It was like I always kept looking back, but never forward. But now it's like, okay, let's look forward, But we can reflect backwards to help us move forward and connect the dots. But let's not dwell and spend too much time on things we can't change. Let's try to create the future that we want and the vision that God's instilled in us, and bring it to fruition. So yeah, that's just what this little quick message was about. I just wanted to come on here today and just kind of, just share a little message about gratitude and how it's changed my life. And hopefully today, somebody will take away from this, an enlightening message. And, maybe tomorrow morning or later after this video, they'll write down 10 things that they're grateful for. And I hope that, and I pray that they receive that joy and that fulfilling spirit of, oh, okay, maybe not everything's going bad in my life. These 10 things are going good in my life. So let me focus on these 10 things that are going good in my life. So whether it be going through a hard time, it's like write down those 10 things. And every time something might pop up that might put you in a negative, mindset, bring those 10 things up. It's like, okay, this isn't going my way, but these 10 things are. That way you're always grounded in that, like, okay, it's not the way I want it to be right now, but it can be better. Or it's better already over here. So let me not harp on what's not going my way. Let me focus on what is going my way. So yeah, that's what we want to come. That's what I pretty much want to come on and talk about today. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys, are feeling. Like I said, I want this to be a, a fluid, transparent conversation. So I know I'll definitely look through the comments, see what you guys say, and let's go. Let's get it. It's 2023. Let's make it a year to remember. Let's make it a year of, everything that God has for us, man. Let's not limit ourselves. Let's not hold ourselves back. Let's not block our own blessings. Let's open our hearts up. Let's move with love. Let's be open to receive all the glory that God has, and to be who He created us to be. Because you're enough. Everything that you need is inside of you. And if you feel like it's not, talk to somebody that might inspire you. Talk to somebody that might help you feel, a little more joyful in the moment. Because again, it's like, life's not meant to be lived alone, but through God, you're never alone. But again, you want to share and have people around you that love you and support you, and you want to embrace that. You want to be there for them just like they're there for you, So it's like, I always try to tell myself, and what's helped me move to this point now is like, I try to be the person that I needed, when I was going through those moments. Because I feel like, I tried try to be Superman and take on the world by yourself, and, all these emotions bottled up, and ultimately you're going to explode. And it's like the people next to you, the people closest to you ultimately get hurt because of that collateral damage. So I try to, just try to hopefully reach one person a day, reach one person. I'm not trying to change the world, a million people, man. I would love to, impact with love and inspiration, but, my focus is to reach one person, because there might be one person that might need to hear this message, and I'm talking to them directly. So, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you on the next one. Brandon out.